very much, Shehan. Hello, everyone. Those who are connected, and I'm sure you are looking forward to reach your dream job. So let me share with you something. What can you see here? I'm sure you can see this. This looks like a plane. For some of you, it might be like a rocket, but this is a plane. Something like this. Do you know that a plane actually takes off against the wind? Which is we might feel okay, it has a nice takeoff, but then it is traveling against the wind. Likewise, our journey is also like an aircraft. You are the pilot, and you have taken all the responsibility to take off your journey into the career or the dream job that you need. But remember, an aircraft always takes off against the wind. And this is a quotation by Henry Ford. With that, let me warmly welcome all of you to this amazing webinar where we talk about how to achieve your dream job, your journey in reaching your dream job. So if you're a person who is trying to figure out, okay, I have taken off my aircraft, I'm going smoothly, but then there are turbulences that I'm facing. Or some of you might be wondering, okay, I do not know how to take control of this aircraft. Do not worry. We are there today in order to help you out. So let me take this opportunity to thank the Indra Management Services Company for inviting me as the guest speaker in order to help all of you in this journey. So just to little bit about myself. So like Shehan said, my name is Dilrukshi Rajapakse. So currently I'm a corporate trainer and also visiting lecturer and an HR consultant. So my field is human resource management, and also I have worked in different organizations, starting from blue chip organization to non-government sector into NGOs. And with that experience, currently I'm providing my service as a trainer, a corporate trainer, a certified trainer, and also a lecturer, and also like an HR consultant. So that is my background. And because of that, I'm here in order to take you through what are some of the elements that you need to have in order to achieve your dream job. So the session outline, we will be sharing with you 4 areas for you to be comfortable because we have only limited time. So because of that, during this limited time, I will be just taking you through about your employability, few job market trends, expectations in the marketplace, what are they looking for, and also tips for you to reach your dream job. And I believe all of you are with this. So let's dive deep into the segment. So let's talk about your employability. What do you mean by employability? Employability is you being prepared in order to take that dream job, what you are expecting in the future. So in order to do that, I will be sharing with you few tips how you can be prepared. Okay, tip number 1 is to develop your transferable skills. Now, a skill, you acquire skill and you should be able to transfer it. Now, I do not mean like the transfer of funds from a bank account to another bank account. No, nothing like that. But just to give you the real understanding is it's just to focus on building your skills that are relevant across any industry. It can be for accountancy, it can be for IT, it can be for HR, it can be for sales, anything where you'll be able to transfer it into different industries. For an example, skills like communication skills, problem solving skills, and also time management skills. These are some of the soft skills that you can transfer into any field. So you could be today a person maybe studying human resource management, or you could be an IT professional, or you can be even somebody from finance. Do not worry. If you have these skills, definitely you can be a good service or you can join an organization. For an example, let me share with you also a little example. Well, a psychology student You might think, okay, what can I do? Is it only psychology that I need to continue? No, you can even apply the communication skills, the customer service skills that you have, your skills that you have developed in your degree. You can even apply to other industries, like even you can be a customer service professional as well. So this is called developing your transferable skills in order to be employable. Okay, so that's tip number one. Tip number two is to tailor make or customize your resume and also your cover letter according to the position that has been advertised. So this is something, an area where I have seen, because I worked with a lot of undergraduates and youngsters who are looking for jobs, and sometimes they send the same CV to each and every position that they see. For an example, like a doctor prescribing Panadol for a stomach ache, for a headache, for an arm ache, anything. You cannot do that. You have to customize your CV. So in order to do that, you have to have even the cover letter customized according to the position that you're applying for. Right? So for an example, you can be a computer science student today. Okay, I'm sure some of you must be computer science students. So you can talk about your software development roles and then specific projects that you have been handling, and then also the coding of languages and things like that. You should be able to talk about it if the position is requesting for those kind of skills from you. Okay, so in order for you to understand it better, let me give you an example. Now look at this advertisement. Now I have taken this vacancy advertisement from Top Job itself. Okay, so this is a position for administration executive, or you call it admin executive. So they are requesting for strong organizational skills and ability to manage your multiple priorities, proficiency in Microsoft Office, and also good analytical and communication skills. Okay, so for an example, just think that you saw this advertisement and you want to apply. Now you are in a mighty rush, and what you're going to do is, okay, just open your laptop or your computer and then take out your CV, and you will just close your eyes and apply. Now, this is an application that we have received. Just look at this now. The position was administration or admin executive. The person who is applying is Nicholas Herbert. Now, he is experienced in business development and marketing professional. So he's talking about his experience all in business development and how he has handled as a marketing executive. Now, I mean, this is good. This CV is very, very professional and looks very attractive, but then it will not service or it will not apply to this position. The moment the recruiters see this, they will like, this candidate didn't even care even to read the advertisement. So they might always, the recruiter might discard this advertisement. So do not let that happen. Make sure that you customize your CV and also your covering letter. Okay, so we shared two tips for you, that is to be employable. One is to have transferable skills. Number two is to customize your CV and your resume. And number three is you have to master the interview skills. Okay, how do you do that? That is, you will have to practice answering interview questions. We cannot just face the interview and then try to figure out, okay, how best can we answer it? No, you have to in advance practice it, seek for some advice, and you have to have that confidence in answering questions. For an example, sometimes in interviews, they will want to know what sort of experience you have. So then how do you answer it? You will not just scratch your head, look here up and trying to look at the ceiling, trying to come up with an answer. No, you will have to prepare well before you face the interview. Okay, so for an example, something which I have always noticed. Now, I'm sure I know some of you are connected here. Maybe you might not be able to, they may have not enabled you to speak. But then if I give you this task, within you, you can just find out. There's a very, very famous question during an interview that they will raise. They will say, tell me about yourself. The moment they ask that question, I have seen, I would say 98% of job seekers, even when I was handling interviews, they just maybe survive with 4 sentences. One being, they will say, my name is so and so. We'll say, yeah, whatever your name. My name is so and so. I'm from whatever the city you will mention. You will say, I'm studying in this university. And also, we'll say, I have 5 members in my family. And then you get silent and you're like, you start thinking. That is not a good way to answer. You have to show them confidence that you're prepared because this is going to be your dream job. So, in order to do that, even to answer the question, to talk about yourself, you will have to prepare yourself. Okay, so everyone, are you clear? So, I shared with you 3 tips in order for you to be employable. That is, number 1 is to gain transferable skills. Number 2 is to customize your CV and your cover letter. And number 3 is to master your interview skills or to practice well in advance before you face the interview. Okay, so we are done with employability segment. Right. The next one, what we were talking about is job market trends, the latest trends in this world and also in Sri Lanka as well. Because I know for a fact now, Indra Management Services, they are having a what you call recruitment firm as well. So when you apply, sometimes you might trying to figure out, okay, why aren't they maybe giving me any opportunities to face an interview? Could be because of the new trends. The employers are requesting for different kinds of skills. And for an example, these are few trends. Sometimes now the trend is there are remote and hybrid work models. There aren't any, I mean, we do have physical organizations, but sometimes they prefer either hybrid or remote work models. So in a situation like that, are you prepared? So for that, you will have to know what sort of models that applies, and we have to be flexible as well, because even now in Sri Lanka we do have hybrid working models where organizations, they do not even have a physical environment, but they do have a remote working environment. So are we prepared for that? So this is a trend which is coming across. So there's a huge demand in the market. So make sure when you apply even to a recruitment agency, or even if you see a position advertised in the paper or Top Jobs or LinkedIn, anywhere, that you are even prepared to take up a remote or a hybrid work assignments. For an example, a business management graduate might take the lead or handle different roles remotely. You coordinate responsibilities from each person, and then you have to perform, work in different time zones. These are some trending modes that we are experiencing. Okay, so number 1 is remote work. I'm just, because of the limited time, I'm just sharing with you few tips only, but there are more. Okay, the other one is there's a trend now, there's a demand for cybersecurity and data privacy. If you have mastered or if you have learned about it, then there is a great demand, because there are so much of cyber threats. And because of that, organizations, they are very nervous and they want people to protect their data. So because of that, this position has become very critical. So there is a gradual demand for cybersecurity and also for data protection professionals. So for an example, a computer science graduate should be able to focus on cybersecurity, where you will be able to find job opportunities in the market where you can be an ethical hacker, where unethical hacker hacks your system and you should be able to fight it and then save your organization. So industries like that, there's a huge demand. So if you are a person who is only thinking about finance, accountancy, marketing, just be open. Now that you were connected to this session, make sure that you have an open mind in that. And number 3, I'm just sharing with you, there is a tendency which is called gig work. What do you mean by gig work? Is it something like giggling, you giggle? No, no, not anything like that. This is something which you call where people, maybe organizations, they give you maybe on contract basis. You give a relevant contract or even freelancing work for you to come and finish the assignment, and that's it. There's no permanent position, no long-term contract. No, it is only for a specific task that you're given the responsibility, you're supposed to perform it. And then from there, your employment, the contract ends with the organization. So this has a great potential. Now in Sri Lanka, this is a bit still growing, I would say, but in across other nations, other countries, this is very demanding and very trendy. So sometimes you might be able to develop a career as a freelancer. I'm sure there are some of you might be doing that as well. While you have your degree or your studies in a permanent position, just think about this as well, where even if you can't find a permanent position, just be open minded. Now that you know about this, even with companies where you will be given a particular assignment, you finish it and then they will pay, and that's it. Because nowadays there is no long term contract also that the organizations are looking for. Even the new generation that is coming up, we have the COVID generation yet to come, join the labor force, but then it's more like completing a task rather than having a long term relationship with an organization. Okay, so I have shared with you three areas. If you can remember, we were talking about the new trends, future trends in the work environment. So number one is all about hybrid and remote work. Number two is all about cybersecurity and data protection. And the third one is about gig work, where you are working as a freelancer or as a contract or a part-time worker for an organization. Okay, so with that, we are completing the job market trends. Now let's look at what are some of the expectations in the marketplace. Now, like the previous pilots who were saying, okay, we were able to take off, but we are facing some turbulences. So if you are in a position like that, let's look at what are some of the things that the organization are looking for. Well, this is very common. So you can be even an intern or even a management trainee or even an undergraduate. Remember, the marketplace, they want employees who are very adaptable and who are willing to learn. Because if you think, okay, I know it all, I do not want to learn from anybody, I do not want to have any learning and development initiatives, well, the company chairman will say, okay, tata bye, you can stay at home, right? So they will want somebody who is very adaptable to different changes, different cultural changes, and who are willing to learn. So for an example, well, you could be hired as a marketing executive, and also you are expected maybe sometimes to get adjusted with AI driven certain activities. So you may have done marketing and you might not be able to say, okay, let me go and meet everyone, market the production. But now a lot of AI involvements are there. So even you might, a system might be able to perform your task as well. So we have to know, at least you have to have that adaptability to learn more about how the AI could help. So what you can do is demonstrate adaptability. Tell your boss, don't worry, boss, I will do it. Let me find out, let me learn about it and come back to you and do it. So you have to be like a person who is willing to learn and who are more adaptable. So that is what they want. And people who are saying, okay, I have been in this company for the last 5 years and I ain't gonna move. So if you are a person like that, nowadays, of course, organizations will not allow you even to climb up your ladder. So that could be a turbulence that you're facing, just in case if you're a person who is already working. And number two, definitely you need to have strong communication skills. Without communication skills, because it is expected in each and every field. You could be, we'll say, IT professional, you could be, you name it, whatever that case, you have to convince your stakeholders with your communication skills. Clear and effective, both written and verbal communications, where you might be able to explain. Even if you are a finance professional, if you are unable to provide them with a, we'll say, cash advance that they are requesting, you should be able to communicate it in a way where your IT manager would understand that. Okay, so likewise, even you could be an HR professional. How are you going to convince your finance or we'll say any IT manager in order to complete an appraisal or for them to send the staff for a training and development program? That's something to do with your communication skills. And also, you should be able to even share your ideas during a meeting. Because remember, you join an organization not to maybe work there for 25 years in the same position. No, you have to gradually climb up the ladder. So, in order to do that, you need to have strong communication skills. For an example, okay, finance graduate may need to present a complex data in a simple language. You cannot go and say, just in case if you're a finance professional, you have heard about this debit, credit, profit. Well, people like HR or maybe marketing guys, especially there's always a conflict between the marketing, sales, and finance because the finance manager would say, okay, we do not have enough profits to give you all for marketing strategies. Marketing manager will say, no, we need money in order to do a strategy, marketing strategy. And the sales manager would come and say, we need to look after our customers. And for that, we need finances. And the finance manager will say, no, I'm not going to give anything. But if you only say no, it will not help. Okay, so you have to have some sort of a way to explain it to them why we are not in a position to give money at that time. Right? So, what you can do is practice your communication skills, practicing even by taking opportunities in group discussions. Even if you apply for an interview, even if you are not selected, be in that moment and try to learn from that interview itself. Do presentations if you are having maybe in your university group assignments, group presentations. Take the opportunity, take the leadership so that you will have that opportunity. And also when you say public speaking, it's not like those election campaigns how the ministers are shouting, not like that. But then if you're talking even to your, we'll say a team, your team has 10 members in order to do a group assignments, when you're sharing your ideas also, it's about public speaking where you are speaking to another 9 of your colleagues or your friends. So that is also public speaking where you will be sharing about your thoughts. That's called public speaking. So try as much as possible to improve on your communication skills. So this is just a little example, but I'm not going to call anybody to try this out because of time also. Right now, if you see this picture, how would you explain this nice, beautiful scenery to someone? Will you say like this? What if you say like this? I can see a tall tree. There are two tall trees, and there's a big lake, and there's the sun. Sun is also there. Now, can you just imagine how I said that? There's a tall tree, there is also another tall tree, and there's a lake, and the sun is also there. Now, don't you think there's a better way of explaining it? How can you do that? So, this again a small example, or you can just perhaps, what if you say it like this? It's a beautiful morning. The sun is ready to shine. Everything is picture perfect. I can see two tall trees where they are waving their hands towards the two houses, inviting all the family members to come out and explore, walk around to enjoy this atmosphere. The sea is very calm. Now, can you see? Did you see a difference? So, when you explain it like that, don't you feel, wow, the second version was better than the first version? Where first version it had only tall, big and nice. That's it. But here, you nicely try to communicate even with the sun, and you use all your alliterations, your similes, and you use a little bit of communications. And then when your boss hears this, they'll be like, okay, we want to have you for the next promotion. At least you can explain things to others, right? So that is the reason why we need to have good communication skills. Okay, so that's number 2, where we are talking about, what are we talking about? What are the marketplace expectations? Okay, so number 2 is communication skills. And number 3, what they want is collaboration and teamwork. So we cannot be working as individuals, saying, okay, I have the finance degree, so I will not work with anybody. I will work only with my P&L account, debit, credit, profit. That's it. No, you cannot do that. Where we have to work with others, get their contribution. If you are a team leader, you should be able to get everybody, all team members, collaboration, and then perform the task which is given to you by the organization. So for that, we need to work with people. So working with people is also an art where it is unable to work with everyone if you do not understand how the team members, how they work. Okay, so employers, marketplace, business owners, they really value when you can perform a task independently and also together with a team. Right? There are certain things where you will be according to your job description or according to the task given to you. You might have to meet your deadlines, but then sometimes it's not only your deadline. In order to meet your deadline, definitely you will need to have the support from others. So then you have to work together with others as well. So they want to see you performing individually as well as a team. So in order to do that, maybe you as a graduate, so you could be even a person who is already working. But think about if you are not climbing up the ladder, it could be perhaps it could be your communication skills, or could be your adaptability, or you're not willing to learn, or could be this teamwork where you are unable to work and communicate with others, where even you could be a software developer where you might have to work, collaborate with other developers in order to get the system up and running. So you have to do your part, but you have to work with the designers as well. So in order to do that, it's all about a teamwork. Okay, so it's very important for you to take off and to survive up in the air. You need to have this skill as well. So if I summarize the three elements, where because of time, again, there are a whole lot of skills that you need to have, but because of time, I'm just going to limit it for three. So the three, if you can just repeat after me. Number one is adaptability and also willingness to learn. Number two is communication skills. And number three is collaboration and teamwork. Okay, so that's about what the marketplace is expecting. So that is, according to our session, the third point. Okay, so number three, now let's talk about how are you going to achieve your dream job. Now, for that also, there's a process, or there are many parts, many steps to it. But let me share with you three elements because of due to the time. One is you need to have a vision. Okay, if you are just wandering here and there trying to figure out what you want to become, it might become a challenge. So because of that, try always as much as possible to dream about the dream job, or have a vision about the dream job that you want to be. At least dream like maybe putting yourself in that situation. Maybe if you like a big room with a big chair, a huge like a lot of people reporting to you, just imagine yourself, visualize yourself in a position like that, so that you will be able to accomplish it. And then think about even the industry. What is the role? Is it in the, we say, manufacturing field, or is it in the banking sector, or is it in the apparel industry that you are looking at? Is it the CEO, managing director, or is it only a manager that you are looking at? And what about the other responsibilities that you want to perform? Do you want to be a group CEO, or you want to be only a subsidiary CEO? Just think about it. You do want to be a head of HR in a multinational organization, or is it only in a Sri Lankan local organization? You need to have a vision. So with that, search about what are some of the ways how you can reach into that passion, how you can align yourself in order to achieve that. For an example, we'll say if you want to become a CEO in a large, we'll say, a multinational organization. So in that case, what you can do is, in order to be a CEO, you need to have the understanding about marketing, finance, HR, project management, everything. So if you're only doing, we'll say, marketing, then You cannot be a CEO only in marketing field. If it is a multinational area, you need to have the general administration experience as well. So in order to do that, you need to maybe shift from organization from different industries in order to reach up to a multinational organization. Now, for an example, this CEO of Microsoft, his name is Satya Nadella. So he has been like, he originally studied in electrical engineering. Can you just imagine? He wanted to be an engineer, but then realized that his passion was only computer, and then he shifted his focus, okay, to relevant skills. And then at the end, now he is the CEO of Microsoft. Okay, so look at his story. I just wanted to share this I've taken it from, because of the time, I'm not going to play the video for you, but then this is a question raised by the person who is interviewing him. So one trait you look for new hires, people like you. What are the one trait, tell us one trait that you're looking for in a new hire. And his answer was, I do want to see whether they create clarity. When you're answering, do you create clarity, or do you create clarity in your job role or the position that you have applied? And also whether you create energy, whether you are a person with energy. So these are the things, or maybe he said one trait, he has combined that, whether you create clarity and whether you generate energy. So this is what he is looking for. So in order to do that, if you are intending to join Microsoft in the future, definitely maybe you might have to follow him in order to understand that. Okay, so that's about you having a vision in order to visualize the place where you want to be. And then number two is you have to gain experience. Okay, so to gain experience is maybe either even taking a voluntary position. If there are any voluntary positions available in the company that you're looking for, maybe get in touch with them so that you will be able to at least understand the organization that you're looking forward to work. For an example, look at Elon Musk, the founder of Tesla. He said, now, if you look at the example, he has worked in several various odd jobs in his early days, right? And including programming, working in a boiler room. Can you just imagine working in a boiler room? He has gained his experience, and early experiences gave him the resilience and knowledge he later used to start companies like PayPal, Tesla, and SpaceX. Can you just imagine? He has done even odd jobs, different sector. That's why I say, if you want to be a CEO, you need to have the general perspective of how the organization works. So this is in order to gain experience, our example from Elon Musk. And then number three, in order to get your dream job, number three could be reflect on the strengths you have. Okay, have you conducted a SWOT analysis for yourself? So in a situation like that, it's a personal what you call identifying your strengths and your weaknesses personally. So identify your strengths that you have so that you can work around your strengths in order to reach up to your dream job. Let me give you an example. Look at Steve Jobs. So he's the unique version. His talent was only the designing the user experiences, but he was an engineer. But then later on, his what do you call, his passion to be creative, his nature of finding out or designing creative ways has made him to become the CEO of Apple, the founder of Apple, or even the iPod and things like that, iPhone. See where he is. So he was able to multiply on his strengths so that he was able to achieve his dream job. Okay, so you remember the 3 points in order to achieve your vision. Because of time frame only, I'm just limiting it to three. So one is you need to have a vision of where you want to work. Number two is gain experiences in whatever the way, even voluntary, anything, try to gain experience working in that organization in a small way. And then think about the strengths you have and try to apply your strengths you have within yourself in order to achieve that. Okay, so I'm sure the 4 areas that we captured was clear to you. And I would like to, there is a question and answer session, or there are, you can raise any questions if there is anything. But let me summarize what we shared, or what I shared with you throughout this little time. So we spoke about employability. So would you like to recall the three areas that I spoke about? Employability. So you need to have transferable skills. That's point number one. Number two, you remember, you need to customize your CV and your cover page, your cover letter, according to the position that you're applying. Okay. And then number three is master the interview skills. So with that, you will be able to become employable, where employers will be able to get attracted to you when you at least try out these three elements. And then number two, what we spoke about was job market trends. So I spoke to you about three areas how the job market works. So there are the three areas: hybrid or remote work, a new trend. And then another area is cybersecurity and data protection. That's the second trend what we see. And also number three is the gig workers, where you either be a freelancer or contract basis or short term assignments that you work. So these are like upcoming market trends within in Sri Lanka and also across the world. And expectations in the marketplace. Remember, I shared there are many more, a plethora of skills that they're looking for, but just because of the time, I limited it to three. So one is being adaptable and to learn new things. Number two is have strong communication skills. And number three is to work on your team spirit or collaboration and teamwork, which the marketplace is expecting. And the last one, which we are talking about, is in order to achieve your dream job, what are some of the things that you have to do? So there's a major process, but again, like I said, limiting it to three. So you need to have your vision of the organization, the industry, and even the designation where you want to be. Have a vision. Number two is gain experience even in the organization or something similar to that organization. And number three is work around your strengths so that you will be able to apply your strengths in order to make it an advantage for you. Okay.